Hello, magic makers, and welcome. This is Lisa McCardle, your inner wisdom awakener, your consciousness expander. I'm thrilled to be here with you today on this new moon. If you like what's happening here, please comment, share, like, and subscribe. So today we are met with a new moon in Pisces. It occurred at 7:32 a.m. Pacific time this morning. And it comes with it, as all new moons do, a really significant opportunity to get a fresh start. And this one has a little extra freshness to it, is what I want to say, because it is in Pisces and it really does cultivate from the deep-seated emotions. It's really an opportunity for you to get new perspective and to really look at perhaps new ways of handling life, especially in terms of your emotional body. And I'm getting a lot around relationships, like how do you relate and how can you get some new perspective, maybe some new tools, some new ideas or ideals in terms of your relationships and in terms of fresh new starts. You know, we've been culminating for a long time on the letting go process, like what is complete and what is done. That's been going on for years. And most often we see this reflected in relationships. So really from an emotional perspective, what is it? Or how is it that you're willing to allow for a fresh new start? We're just on the cusp of finding spring and new beginnings and fresh starts and new life and new birth and new expression. So this new moon is really bringing in a lot of that opportunity for you to get some a little bit more crystal clear, a little bit more clearer vision of how you're willing to do some, maybe some new things and some intentional new ways. It's also a really amazing time to optimize new goals or optimize your goals. You know, we're, 6-8 weeks into 2020 at this point in time. And I have to say, as I've said on some previous videos, it's been a little jaggedy. I can honestly say, from my perspective, it has not been the most comfortable of all rides. And here we are becoming new humans, finding new ways of being. And I'm going to talk today in this video about just some clear understandings and maybe some tools for you to navigate through these energies and through these, what many are experiencing is really trying times. So just know that there's light and lightness and ease coming, and we're still just navigating. We're navigating a lot of really deep healing and repositioning. I keep looking at reconfiguration, like we're reconfiguring emotionally, spiritually, cellularly, mentally, really in all aspects of our being. It's a really deep reconfiguration. So if it's not comfortable for you, please know that the light is coming, and set an intention with this new moon for greater ease. So also we have beautiful Mercury retrograde happening simultaneously. And of course, Mercury is always about the perception of a little bit of a backsliding, maybe into old habits, old ways of being, old relationships, kind of a little bit of a rear view mirror gaze. But when we gaze into the past, or we look into that position, it's really to give us momentum and some acceleration for forward movement. So you might also be experiencing just a lack of clarity. And if that is you, as it has been me, please, please, please find a surrender somewhere inside of yourself and know that this is part of the experience, part of the generation or the regeneration of becoming a new human, part of the consciousness expansion. It's part of your awakening. And though it isn't always comfortable, as I've said several times, my guidance does assure us that indeed it shall be worth it. So what I have found myself, and I'm offering to you to be supportive of these kind of trying times that we're in. And again, I really felt the energy shift a lot with 2/20/20 that happened a few days ago. I do feel like we're coming through the eye of the needle, the proverbial eye of the needle yet again. And I do feel it lighting up, lighting, becoming more light, lightening up. And I mean that both figuratively and metaphorically. It's getting a little bit easier. And so please just hold your intention and your manifestation, because new moons are hugely abundant times and great for getting clear manifestation in order. What if you manifested greater ease and greater lightness? So one of the ways of which you're going to do this is by practicing what I'm calling fierce presence. Fierce presence, not just being present, which sounds great and feels good when we achieve it, but I'm talking fierce presence. There have been times over the last 2 weeks in my own personal journey where I've just like hit the just like right here, right now. What do I know to be true right here, right now, in this second, this very valuable, most precious second, because it is truly the only one that holds any significance. In this second, in this moment, all is well, because it really 90% of the time is. It's when we get convoluted with what has or what may or what could not or should not, or all of the places that we go that are anything other than fiercely present. And there's lots of tools and lots of techniques that we've talked about, earthing and your breath. And, you know, at this point, we can go through the tools for presence, but it really takes a willingness in any given moment to drop the story, to disengage from the energetic or the emotional hijacking, and just be here now in fierce presence. So slow the roll, get present, and come into a state of acknowledging that maybe right here, right now, everything probably is okay. Maybe it's even better than okay. Because good things are always happening to you, but they can only find you when you're in the presence and the expectation of the next second being just as sourced and just as centered and just as present as the one that just occurred. This second, and then there's this second, and then there is this second, this moment. And that is really, truly the only thing that matters. So find it. Okay. The other thing that's been coming in from my guidance to get us moving through this time to the full moon in March is to choose the path of least resistance. Wherever you're overcomplicating, complexicating things, just slow your roll again. Find your presence and take the path of least resistance. What's going to make it the easiest? Perfectly imperfect. Done is better than perfect. Can you just get her done? And if you need to go back later and make some modifications to whatever it is, then so be it. But this opportunity that's at hand right now, really truly, is to explore, find, and choose the path of least resistance. What gets you feeling good, gets you aligned, gets you in momentum, gets you closer to where it is you want to be in the most ease-filled, light-filled way possible. What's the path of least resistance? That is the path for you, my friend. Which brings up perfectly imperfect. It's something that I play with often, so much so that one of my dear friends gave me this. Perfectly imperfect. Here we are becoming new humans, navigating through this world, doing the best we can. perfectly imperfect. It's like my slogan. And I'm going to really invite you to embrace it and embody it and see how you can expand upon it, because it does lead itself to the path of least resistance. If you're like, perfectly imperfect, done is done. Good enough. Good enough for now, moving on. And this came in this week too, and this I will definitely expand upon in some later videos and some teachings, but it just came so crystal clear, and I think it's a really potent message. I often talk about should, and are you bullshitting? Are you shoulding all over yourself? We can get really wrapped up in those shoulds for ourselves or for others. You know, he should do that. She should be doing that. I should do that. I know I should do this, you know. Oh, it's almost painful to hear it. And so I'm going to invite you to listen to your own inner dialogue and your words and the emotions that they evoke within you, and really pay attention. Are you shoulding all over yourself? And what came through was that should equals shame. Okay, when you're in a should state, you're in a shame state. And that is why it palpably does not feel good, because shame is the lowest vibration we can hold. It hangs out around 20. Love vibrates somewhere between 560, 570, in the upper 500 range. And 20, shame vibrating at a 20, it's like just the lowest vibration you can hold. So when you're shoulding, you're shaming and you're lowering your vibration. And I promise you, from that low vibration state, it is, I was going to say it's nearly impossible to create. But what I mean is it's nearly possible to create what you desire. It's really possible to create the things that you're not wanting from that low vibrational state. But it is not as ease and light filled to really put you in the trajectory which that of love would create, which is just momentum, law of attraction, right? Like is attracted to like, vibrational frequency. I mean, these are not new terms or not new thoughts. So shoulding is shaming. Coulding, I could do that. You could do that, is curiosity. So can you move from shoulds to coulds? I could do this, I could do that, she could do this, she could do that. It opens up the land of possibility. And when we're playing in the realm of possibility, our frequency, our delight, our desire, it just expands. It's hugely expansive. It brings us closer to love and to enlightenment, really, operating between 500 and 700 on the frequency scale. So are you willing to move from could, which is curiosity? Could is curiosity. It gives you that curious energy that begins to translate into making everything possible. And then this is the really fun part. This was also came through with a dear friend, so thank you if you're watching. When I shared this with her, she said, and can is courage. And I just love this. So should is shame, could is curiosity, and can is courage. I can do that. It's courageous. It's an activation of fearlessness, of excitement, of joy, you can feel it in your body. And if we're seeking for vibrational alignment and divine synchronicities, those vibrations are the ways of which you find it. So are you shoulding, are you coulding, or are you canning? Go can yourselves in the best way possible. So I would love it if you in the comments below would tell me what it is that you could do, and even better, if you can tell me what it is that you can do. Because you know you can. Even if you do not yet have proof, you just know that you can. So play with this and see what becomes possible, and see what elevation of your own frequency activates and comes to life in a new manner, in a new harmony, simply because you could and you can. And that elevation is really exciting. So leave me a comment. What are you going to play with? What are you going to create? What could you and what can you? And if you like what's happening here, please share, please like, please subscribe. It really, truly is the momentum. It is the feedback that I get, it activates the pleasure inside of me to keep sharing these tidbits of divinely inspired information as they come through me, from source through too, and so shall it be. So go out there, dear ones, see what it is that you could do. Get canning into great creation. Know that you are loved, and know that you have everything that you need within you right here, right now, to really optimize your well-being and ride the energy of this new moon for new creation, for divine creation in your present, in your allowance, in your perfectly imperfectness, in your choosing the path of least resistance. Until we meet again.